Hello guys, it's Rod Lingle again. We're trying to make this video today. It's March the 6th, and hopefully you can hear us. We're out here and it's really windy. I brought this up here just to kind of try to demonstrate. There's been some questions recently about safetyness of brushing. Well, let's just presume for a second that you could weld this bristle, which is about like a toothbrush. If you can see that. This brush right here, and this is a medium stiff brush, and a lot of brushes that are out there are one grade softer than this. This is actually a little stiffer than most of the brushes on the market, but anyway, this is the one we use because we always use a little bit stiffer brush than the other guys because we developed it. We've been using it for 4 years. We know it's safe. We've never had one accident with this brush ever. And one of the reasons we haven't is because we watch our bed knives. That's why we haven't. Okay, just assume for a second that you could weld this brush, which you know you can't weld plastic, but if you could weld this brush on the end of this shovel. We all know that this shovel can dig. You put your foot behind it, it's going to dig a hole in the green. Well, if you could weld this brush to this shovel, I would be willing to bet you could put all the force you want to on that brush. You cannot make that brush dig, even if you cut it the same width as this shovel. Alright, let's just assume this bed knife here, which is a thin bed knife, pretty thin, that we can cut it off and we can weld it to it. We can weld it to it very easily. And we weld this to it and put it on the ground and put your foot on it and just have it as wide as this shovel is. You think this can dig? You're darn right it can dig. It can dig as easy as this shovel can and maybe better. And we want to show you how safe these brushes are. Keith, come over here a second. This is our technician, Keith Manning. We have a stiff brushes on this unit. It's been on here about 3 years now, so it's getting maybe 2.5 years. He's going to show you how we set this. It's right on 50, right there. Can you see it, Mario? 50 thousandths of an inch clearance on this brush. The typical setting on this brush is between 100 thousandths clearance and 80 thousandths clearance. We don't tell people to run it at 50. We don't tell them to run it at 0, but some people have run it at 0. I've had 3 customers that ran this brush at 0 all last summer with no digging. Okay, show them the other side, Keith. We're going to run this. We're going to show you. We're going to run this brush at 50 thousandths clearance. Then we're going to turn around and run it at 0, which is on the ground and you can't go any lower. So okay, there we're at 50 there. So crank it up and run a pass across here. And Mario, hopefully, I'll show you. Just try to stay in front of the mower there and show him how it's kicking up sand. Now this thing's going to kick up sand and it's going to throw some sand. We're going to run it without the basket so you can see what's going on. It's going to throw some sand in the air because that's what it does. It brushes. But like I said, it's a straight nylon fiber. It's not metal and it doesn't have hooks on it. Okay, now Keith's going to put the wheels back on it because we have to do that to set the height on the brush. And he's going to set this on 0. This gauge is going to be reading 0 and the bristles are actually going to be touching the ground. So when he mows with this unit, this is as low as you can set this brush. We did this same test last year in August. I think it was on August the 13th. And we ran it at 0, so we feel comfortable about what we're doing. And then actually in another test, we took a sod cutter and lifted the sod off the green on Champion, just like this green right here, tamped the sod back down, After the sod was tamped down, we ran the brush over it at 0 and it still didn't pull the sod off the green. We have that video also for those that would like to see it if need be. I think this will calm some fears and show. The thing about brushing is groomers have been out forever, okay? The thing about brushing that you have to understand, groomers have been out forever. We've used groomers in tournament situations for eons. Anything that's made out of soft nylon bristle is 6 times safer than a groomer could ever be. So you have to understand that if you read an article Brian Whitlock wrote called Bring Back Brushing, one of the key points to the brushing revolution, or switching to brushing, was that it was far safer than groomers. And it is. Everybody knows it. If you ever used it and you understand what's going on with it, you understand really how safe it is. Okay, this pass is going to be at 0 on the brush. It's going to be at 0. So if anything's going to grab or tear up, we should see it. Can you see that? There is no tearing or gouging. It makes a hell of a lot of sand come up, but it doesn't tear the green up. There's no torn up green. Go ahead and do it again. Go back to the same spot. Shoot this, Mario, and show them there's no grass turned up. You can actually stall that groomer, which is what happened down here. You can stall the brush because it gets so low that it gets too much for it to pull, because he had it on low speed, but there's no earth turned over here. Okay, now we've heard some issues about humidity changing and dew point changing. We got our dew point guy coming in here right now. Come on in, Juan. You want to turn on? Swinge all that down, all that width to it. Here comes Mr. Dew Point. Now, if this is a dew point change or humidity change, I don't know what is. This has got to be as effective as anything. Just go right on across there. Just move like you're syringing it down. Let me give you a little tip on this syringing stuff. Anytime you vertical mow, groom, anything, slight moisture on the green is good. It's a lubricant. It helps your grass. We've noticed that from light vertical mowing late in the day. If you vertical mow late in the day, it always helps to put a little bit of water, like 2 or 3 minutes of overhead down before you do it, because like I said, it is a lubricant and mowing goes better. I've talked to other superintendents that have seen that very same thing. Not that you can't do it dry, it just goes easier dry. And we're staying right between these flags, just like every other pass we made is right down this flag deal. Ray, when you run this mower, go ahead and throttle it up a little bit more so it won't stall and it won't hurt anything. Just come right back down through here again. Just move over to right here. That's good, Juan. Just range it down. Let's let this water soak in a second. Well, we're all right. Come over here, Ray. Up here. So this is on 0, guys. Now shoot this again, Mario. All right, Mario, walk down this line and show everybody this results of this. Start right here and go right down the line he just went down. You can see all the water that was flying. We had literally had water standing on the screen, which we wouldn't do normally. But you can see the water coming up in the video. There is no ground that's been turned over, no tearing. Is it too aggressive brushing? Yes. We don't brush this aggressive. But if you can run this brush at that height and that lowness, how is the brush going to damage your greens if everything else is set up properly? We just wanted to show you this. It's because there's a lot of people out there that still have issues in their mind about how safe this product is. And if it wasn't safe, Mario and the guys can tell you, if it wasn't safe, I would never use it. I'd never use it. If I thought it could tear a hole in my green, it wouldn't even be in the barn, much less on the green. And the other thing is, we've got 4 years of using it without one failure. But you got to understand how the parameters work on your mowing, and you got to understand the other parts of your mower to make it all work effectively.